So I wanted to take a minute today to discuss compositional routes and things that you can do to facilitate composition. Now, one of the things that started this, and it's by no means unique to this class, is I posted something and it created some questions. Now, the questions typically come to me via email, but I'm going to read to you what I posted. Somebody said they were having difficulty coming up with thumbnails, and I wrote something about if you ever feel stuck, think of the routes you can take towards design. I find this helps you to instantly generate thumbnails. So this, in combination with some really basic layout and typography ideas, can help you to generate ideas quickly. So route one, and I think most people unfortunately think that this is the only route, is the light bulb goes off. You get that aha moment, that instant inspiration. It's a stereotype from the movies of the creative artist just getting this divine inspiration in the middle of the night, waking up and just painting. And while that can happen, you really can't bank on this for a career. It's not something that really will take you or sustain you throughout maybe 30 or 40 years of doing design. So that's great. That's just not something that's feasible. The second route is playing with formalistic ideas. So maybe you start to explore something that's formal, like contrast, or you explore repetition, or you might explore alignment, or you might explore proximity, or you might explore any of the design principles, or you might explore any of the visual things that you maybe want to play around with. Things like color, contrast, scale, line, texture, all those things, those ideas of starting out with something formalistic as your beginning point can yield again another whole series of ideas. Route three would be starting with media. So in modern advertising, one of the most common things is to start out with a photograph. You create a photograph, a couple different versions of the photograph, a lot of times with additional space around it, so that you think towards the future of integrating type into it. You might do the same thing with illustration. You might start with the illustration as your entry point into the media. And then you start to build the ad, or you start to build the layout or the poster or whatever it happens to be around that item. That's also a bona fide way to create it. Route four is to play around with the relationship between type and image. Is the particular design you have heavily type driven? Is the type supporting the image? Is the image supporting the type? In other words, could it be image driven or could it be type driven? Is it synergistic? Do they play back and forth? Does the type actually support the concept? So if your concept is something that's clean and modern, does the type reflect that? Or is it something that conceptually actually does the opposite or challenges it in some way? All these things are from a very common design book, and I think they will help you generate quite a few sketches quickly and easily. There are other ways to kind of explore designs too. Okay, so one of the things that I will do in my basic layout classes, as well as my intro to design and publishing class, is have students design within a framework. And they may be given the exact same image, little boy on the toy car, the exact same headline copy that they have to elocute. So Z2 might be the headline copy, the exact same body copy, the exact same parenthetic or credit type that they have to put into all these ads, but to explore, experiment with one of those elements hierarchically being predominant. So on the left, you see something called image and headline vibration. Scale-wise, these are pretty close. The image and the headline are pretty equally dominant in this, and so they're said to vibrate back and forth. The next one that you see over here is a headline emphasis. So here the headline is the main act, right? It's the lead singer. It's the star of the show with the spotlight on it. And the other elements fall into line behind it. So you'll see what functions as a headline here. The logo actually functions as a headline. You'll see sort of the subhead here. It's actually the same size, by the way, as the vibration one. You'll see the body copy here. You'll see that it's about the same size as there. And the parenthetic copy is the same. What happened is the image got reduced and the headline got increased. Let's go over to image emphasis. Again, given the exact same three items, image, headline, body copy, subhead, parenthetic text, we get a layout where image is hierarchically the most important thing. And of course, we could go bigger than this. We could get a tighter shot where it crops off the page, but it is a methodology by which we can generate designs. And then this last one on the far right is where the body copy is the emphasis, all the details. So the body copy, you could argue, is slightly subordinate to the subhead, but we're going to consider the subhead as a block part of this body copy. This is hierarchically the most important thing on this page. The subhead, the headline rather, or the logo, and the image, of course, are sort of secondary. And then all along, basically unchanged throughout all these layouts, is the credit or the parenthetic text that's on there as well. So utilizing the different routes to composition and playing around with the idea of elemental hierarchy, you can generate easily 10 thumbnails right out of the gate. And if you feel stuck, if you feel maybe a little bit uncertain about it, that's what I would recommend doing. And remember, in my opinion, thumbnails are best when you've got an idea of what you want to do and you are just working out composition. I think if you have not yet isolated content, it becomes very hard. You start talking about maybe 50 or 25 thumbnails. But if I've already isolated or worked on what the content of the ad will be, it's very easy to generate 10 really good variations from this without even thinking, having a system almost in place and getting some really good, strong visual variations.